So far away, Lucas, we're here for another episode of Wiki Weekends, and today we're going to be talking about Adrian Toombs, aka the Vulture.
Look out! Here comes the Spider-Man!
Okay.
Aka Michael Keaton with a gun.
That's true, yeah.
It's like, is there any moment in like an MCU movie more threatening when Michael Keaton just gets a gun out and threatens to shoot a child?
Does she know?
Know what?
Yeah, I think that's what gets me, is it's like the high school homecoming and there's all these kids outside like, oh yeah, let's celebrate. Michael Keaton just pulls out a fucking gun and it's like, look, I've got you, Spider-Man.
That's the thing as well. Like, I've told the story before, but I contend one of the best movie-going experiences I've ever had is I've watched Homecoming in an American theatre. An American audience get really loud and really hilarious. It's like a matinee showing, like middle of the day, people were like, really getting into it. And just, I remember clear as day the moment where just the door opens and Michael Keaton answers the door.
Yeah.
And just someone in the audience went, oh, you done fucked up now, Spider-Man. And just everyone was whooping and cheering. And it's just like Michael Keaton is just giving Tom Holland the business. And I'm like, this is the best.
Oh my god!
What? No!
Oh, you done fucked up now, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I got to experience this live.
I do love, like, the Michael Keaton just... He went from, obviously, like, the Batman role to then making a parody of the Batman role with Birdman. But then he actually became a Birdman in fucking Homecoming.
And now he's Batman again.
And now he's Batman again. He's gone full circle.
Oh, have you ever seen that like great like commencement speech that Michael Keaton gave to a bunch of kids? And he says at the end, and remember kids, I'm Batman, and walks off.
One more thing to say, and it'll only take me a second. I've got 2 words that I want you all to remember. They're very important. And if I leave you with anything, I'm going to leave you with these 2 words. And those 2 words are, I'm Batman.
It's like,
But that's
you
the
go,
thing,
Michael
like,
Keaton.
There's only, 5 people on the planet that can, realistically be like, I'm Batman, and walk away.
I'm Batman, yeah.
I know whoever played Batman in Titans cannot do that. They're not. They have not earned it.
Fuck Batman.
And unfortunately, we're not here to talk about Michael Keaton. We're here to talk about the character he plays, Adrian Toombs. And what do you know about the character of Adrian Toombs in the comics?
I know he's really fucking old. Like, when you actually have, the Sinister Six or whatever amalgamation of Spider-Man rogues all together, it's like, oh yeah, they're all, middle-aged men, but then Vulture's just, this 80-year-old man in a, spandex-tight green outfit.
Which does raise the uncomfortable question of, is Spider-Man just beating up an elderly person who's not there mentally? Because at some point, Spider-Man's just beating up an old man.
Works! I've done it! Get away!
But as always with Wiki Weekends, you can find the wiki we're reading from below if you're so inclined. But Lucas, let's start as we often do at the beginning with a quote from Adrian Toombs, Earth 616. I fought Daredevil.
Oh?
I was in the Sinister Six. I'm faster, stronger, and smarter than 100 men my age. Which isn't really the brag that he thinks it is when he's 98 years old. It's like, do you know that old question, do you reckon you could take out 100 toddlers? It's like, do you reckon you could take out 100-year-old men?
Probably.
So I reckon all you need is a stiff breeze. You take half of that, and it's like no flunky with a pistol gets the drop on me. And I love the idea that in the Spider-Man universe, there's always an up-and-coming criminal trying to make a name for themselves. So they might accidentally end up, running afoul of, a way more established and more powerful villain. Or a hero.
Running afoul, you say, Karl.
Yes. Oh, lots of bird puns. Lots of bird puns abound. But yeah, it's can you imagine though if you're an upstart criminal in New York and you accidentally, and you're speeding through the city streets with a bag of stolen loot, and you accidentally just handbrake turn into the Punisher's territory.
Yeah.
And you don't know, or you accidentally mug someone in the Kingpin's territory.
So that's the thing, isn't it? what information sources are there out there for these like new criminals to be like
For aspiring
oh,
criminals.
like is there just a map of New York City with like red blocks, just like these are all the areas that you shouldn't go?
Yeah, they just have a map where it's like, these are the areas where you'll get like beaten to a bloody pulp. These are the areas where you'll get shot, and these are the areas where Spider-Man will call you a dick. And it's like, oh no, why be a criminal in that city?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's always what I don't get about like Gotham as well. It's like, okay, Batman's only one man that can be in one place at a time, but
Yeah.
like, that's a city where you risk the chance of encountering Batman. There's many other cities where you do not risk that.
It's like the idea of people committing like crime in the city where the Flash lives. Like, there's that great comic where it's in the future, and people have forgotten who the Flash was, and they just refer to this thing called the Streak or something like that, where it's like is it Star City he lives?
Star City, I believe, yeah.
Or Central, like whichever one he's in. It's like, yeah, just in that city, nothing bad ever happens, and like you'll like, for example, you drop your coffee, and just this red blur will come across and pick it up for you, or like, you know, people like wander into traffic and just a red blur stops them because he just everywhere in that city at once. And just no crime ever happens. Like he just micromanages the fuck out of like that one city.
In DC, it is like, you know, there are people like Green Arrow and Batman that are just people, but there are Superman and the Flash who can literally be like everywhere at all times.
But, moving back to New York City and Asia. It's Star City, okay. So I know Star Labs from the Flash TV show.
No, I was going to say Star City's where Green Arrow is. That's where we've got that from.
Oh, okay.
So it must be Central City for the Flash, where before people correct us.
Yeah, there's another Star Labs in the Flash TV show, which I did watch for a little bit. But we have here some biographical information about the Vulture. We have his name, Adrian Toomes. Current alias, the Vulture. And then, are you ready for some band names?
Let's go.
There's not many.
Oh,
There's Falcon, which is already taken. Birdman. Buzzard and Vulture. Vulture.
There's always just that one that's clearly like what Deadpool or Spider-Man has called them in jest.
Yeah. You know as well, you're not a very good or prominent villain in Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery when he doesn't have at least 5 nicknames for you. I remember when we did like the Kingpin one, and like Kingpin's got like 15 different nicknames for all the time Spider-Man's made fun of him.
Oh god.
We have his affiliations, and these are all I love as well. We have the Sinister Six, the Savage Six, which is a founding member of, the Legion of the Accursed, which is like, that's a band name. That's a band name. The Sinister 12, which was...
Because 6 superhuman beings were not enough to take out Spider-Man, so they doubled the numbers.
That got disbanded and they became the Superior Sticks.
Oh,
which means they just like cut the chance. Like, you know what? We got too many jobbers in the Sinister 12. Let's just go back with the Superior Six.
Like that means that was essentially tryouts for the Superior Six,
and they just weren't good enough, were they? And then we've got finally Best Man and Toomes Electronics. So he must have worked in an electronics store or something beforehand.
Yeah, I guess that's
his marital status is widowed, so his wife's dead. Gutted, mate.
I mean, it makes a bit more sense with the comic book version with him being so old.
Like, he's old as fuck. And I'm trying to look for like where his like personal information is. I want to know how old he is. It doesn't really say in any of this. It does say that he's like 5'11" and weighs like 80 pounds. He's bald. His origins is a human who invented a wingsuit which gave him the powers of flight. Living status alive but barely. They should put that in like little. He's alive but barely. He's like, there's not much holding him together.
A lot of people might not have seen what he looks like in the comics, and he is like such like a skinny, decrepit old man, like a little hunchback, and just like he looks like Spider-Man would just snap him in half by looking at him.
Yeah, and his background, he's got like a master's in electrical engineering, and that's what I love about like early Spider-Man villains, where like the sliding times. Oh yeah, they started like back in like the fucking 60s when it's like, oh, he's a guy who built a wingsuit, but now he's fighting with like people who've been to space, but he's still a threat.
Yeah.
But you know, his background and his education has never changed. So he's got a master's in electrical engineering, but he keeps tinkering. So it's like, you know, the Michael Keaton version where he's like tinkering with Chitauri technology. And he's like making hand grenades and shit, and it's like, maybe we shouldn't let just some dumbass figure like play with this stuff.
I think that's the one thing that like threw me off a little bit about that version, is the fact that they take away a lot of his like actual intelligence, and seemingly just it's like, oh, the Tinkerer just made it all for us, and I'm just wearing his like inventions.
and then the Shocker's in it, and he keeps like accidentally killing himself.
There's two
But
Shockers
the
in it,
Shocker
Karl.
is
Never forget.
the Shocker is the most jobber of jobber Spider-Man.
They
We have his
literally
history
just
here.
melted the Shocker and said, you're the Shocker
He
now.
gets replaced by the new Shocker. Just get a new one, it's fine. Oh, but early life. Young Adrian Toombs' parents died early. Gutted. And he was raised by his older brother and found intelligent by his teachers at school. And his brother Mark became a paraplegic after a motorcycle accident.
Oh, God.
No! What is it with like Spider-Man villains having such like gutting backgrounds?
I guess so you actually, like, find them a little bit relatable, because that's pretty rough, is like, yeah, all of his family were basically lost. Like, his brother was crippled, his parents were killed. It's like, man, that's rough.
And the only way he could like provide for his family was by becoming a large bird, just stealing bank vaults. And then we said, as an adult, he became an electrical engineer and inventor. With his business partner Gregory Bestman, he started Bestman and Toombs, a small electronics firm. It was during this time that he first developed an electromagnetic harness that would allow the wearer to fly. How was he not going to be a millionaire off that? You invented a suit that lets you fly. It's like when you're watching like the first Spider-Man movie and they talk to like, oh, the Goblin glider isn't really that useful. And they show you, and they smash cut to like his competition. And it's a guy in like the bulky fucking like mech suit that can barely move.
Yeah.
And just like the Goblin glider comes in and takes it out in 4 seconds. It's like, how did the Goblin glider not get them to keep having government funding? It's so much better than what the competition have.
Oh my god.
Like, this one-man army wingsuit, like, glider thing. It's like, nah, that's useless.
Well, it's that thing as well, isn't it? Like, you know, when they smash cut to like the suit, and it's like even just like the skeleton bombs. Like, how is like the army not interested in those for like, you know, like Black Ops wet work missions or something? Oh, it's a bomb that instantly turns everyone into dust. So like, you know, when you got to go in for cleanup, you just need a dustpan and a fucking brush, and you're done.
Yeah.
Like, how do they not want that?
There's zero question about whether the grenade killed anybody, is there? Like, it's just gone.
Out am I?
Yeah. But we have here Toombs' excitement as if his invention was cut short when his Bestman was embezzling money from the company. When he physically confronted him, he found it exposed to the harness and increased his strength. Bestman fired Toombs for attacking him and assumed full control of the company. But here's the thing, you've still got like the harness that lets you fly and makes you strong. How is there not value in that? In the meantime, Bestman sold the thing, which still had Toombs' name in it, which is a dick move like there. So Toombs, in response, adopted the guise of the Vulture, ransacked his office and stole all his money back. He enjoyed it so much he became a criminal full time. Well, at least he's doing what he loves.
Like, that's the thing, isn't it? Of just, okay, so he's a great inventor. He's like this, you know, genius person that can invent this amazing suit. And the reason he's a criminal is because he finds it fun.
Well, do you know what that is? That's like that legendary Spider-Man panel, isn't it? Of like the guy who turns people into dinosaurs. It's like, wait, you've solved the idea of like genetic tinkering. You could use this to cure cancer. And it's like, but I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs. And you have to respect that honesty. It's like, but I don't want to cure cancer. I want people to be dinosaurs. And it's like, well, I guess he's got a point. He does want people to be dinosaurs.
He does. And like, that's, you know, fundamentally, I guess that's the big difference between the other, like, person that's just got a wingsuit in the Falcon. Like, the Vulture and the Falcon are just two sides of the same coin. Because Vulture just wants to be a bad guy.
Oh, man, never forget that, right, they give, in, like, the MCU, the Falcon, that super cool wingsuit. And then he just stabs people with it. Mm-hmm. It's like, do you know like the bit in Endgame where he just stabs a guy? It's like, the one benefit you have of being in the air is that you're quite far away and hard to hit, and his fighting style revolves around just stabbing people with his wings.
I'm still mad they replaced the actual Falcon with a drone.
Yeah, when he had like a pet falcon called Falcon or something like that. It was great.
Yeah, comic book version with an actual bird.
He gets an actual falcon that flies around. Would you like to go on to the powers and abilities, the fun stuff?
Let's go.
So we have here, so powers and abilities, temporarily, or temporary limited levitation. It's recently revealed that due to his prolonged use of the harness, the Vulture can levitate his body without it. However, at a very slow speed.
No.
So he can just gently hover off the ground for a couple minutes, but that's it.
He can perform David
bit.
Blaine magic tricks for a minute.
Yeah. You can float just for a little bit. Just a little bit.
That's such a weird addition to his power set, to just be like, you can just hover a little bit.
Yeah, he's like worn it for so long that he can float a little bit, sure. And then he's got superhuman strength. With the use of his magnetic technology, he can provide himself superhuman strength, being able to lift a water tank easily. And they weigh quite a bit. That's like a ton or two.
Yeah.
With the force.
That's quite a lot, but I mean, it's very bizarre that he just like. I guess we're gonna find out, but it seems like he's just a bit stronger and can fly.
Yeah. I just never thought of strapping a microwave to your chest to get your super strength. But what do I know? And his abilities are he has a genius-level intellect. He is intellectually brilliant in the fields of electronics and mechanical engineering with a great talent for invention. Well, he's only invented one real thing, and it's fucking wings. Which is pretty good, but I don't think he's got a great talent for it.
He's invented
made one
flight
thing.
and super strength. That is pretty good.
Yeah, I guess so. And then his equipment, which is the thing we want to talk about, is his electromagnetic wing harness. Utilizing his harness, he can fly with a natural winged flight limit of 95 miles an hour. That's pretty fast.
But Iron Man exists in this world.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, imagine he's floating around and Iron Man whizzes past. The anti-gravitron generator attached to his flight enables him to take to the air by flapping like a bird. The fact he's still got to flap his wings is so funny. I don't know why that's so funny to me, that he has to physically flap his wings. Mm-hmm. That really cracks me on the fact they've never bothered to fix that.
Good heavens, look! It's him! Stop him! Stop him!
Or they've never bothered update his design where he can do it without. No, the fact he has them strapped to his arms and flaps like a bird, like an idiot, still cracks me up.
I'd love to see that in the MCU.
Yeah, because he had the wing suit, didn't he?
The wing suit with the big fans that kept him hovering, and it was like a little mini personal helicopter, more like it. But yeah,
I much prefer his when he's got to physically flap his arms like a bird, because he just looks like an absolute idiot, and it's so good. The harness increases physical strength to the absolute human maximum, able to lift roughly 700 pounds. But it said he had super strength.
Yeah,
that's not the absolute limit. Super strength would indicate that he's stronger than
the super part, the limit of super strength.
Potential. Yeah. When he removes the harness, his enhanced abilities slowly fade, although the rate at which his abilities fade remains unclear. The harness also, according to some sources, increases his lifespan. Well, it must do, because he's been he was 90 odd when he was introduced.
Did it ever say how old he is?
That's what I'm looking for. I'm hoping it's in the trivia or something like that. So there's no actual classification of how old he is. Maybe we can do some more checking that. But the Vulture can reach speeds of 95 miles an hour and attain a maximum height of 11,000 feet.
So, that's about a third of the height of a plane.
Yeah. That'd be scary, though. Imagine you're in your little plane.
Oh, yeah, but, that means he... Well, I guess maybe it was low altitude in the movie.
Just
where,
low altitude,
he performs, an actual plane robbery.
Now, here's my question, now. How does this help him commit crime? Because his wings are real big. Let's just say, you're in an office and he wants to break in and steal some shit. How does he actually get in there with his wings? Does he have to, fold them up and walk through the door and then fold them out? Or does he crash through the window?
Maybe, crashes through the windows. But you've got to imagine, he's only allowed to pick banks to rob that we have,
open
plan offices.
Yeah. What happens if he wants to rob someone that's really small?
Yeah.
Because it makes sense like the Rhino, because he can just crash through the wall and pick up the bank vault and walk away. How does it? He can fly, so he can walk in and rob someone and fly away, I guess. But he's bright green and massive and 90.
It's like when Dr. in Spider-Man 2 walks into the bank and he's got a trench coat on to hide 4 giant mechanical robot arms. It's I don't think you're getting away with walking into a bank with that on.
I still think my favourite thing about that is, though, that he breaks into the bank to get money to buy stuff rather than just stealing it. It's see, the thing as well, he talks about tritium being worth billions of dollars.
Precious tritium is the fuel that makes this project go. There's only 25 pounds of it on the whole planet. I'd like to thank Harry Osborne and Oscorp Industries for providing it.
Happy to pay the bills, Otto.
So you can see him picking up bags of quarters. Like, how many banks were you planning to rob to afford to buy some of this stuff? So they say it costs like billions and millions of dollars to buy like that much, and the world's supplies at Oscorp. Why doesn't he break into Oscorp? And steal it?
It's like, you would think that he was getting duffel bags of gold bars rather than coins.
Yeah, but you physically see the coins fall out of the bag when he throws them. Or was he going to like see like a pallet full of dollar bills or something, at which point he'd have to carry that over a building and run away with a big pallet? Anyway, it says here that he has a new generation of harness that's supposed to have been augmented by the Green Goblin. Oh yeah, the most stable of individuals. Though the Vulture claim he's made him several times stronger than his previous version, roughly 500% stronger, it appeared to be a bluff to frighten the Black Cat, who proceeded to beat him half to death.
Oh no.
He just tried to shit talk Black Cat and she just beat him up.
That's such a dick move by Oscorp, though, like, by Osborne, sorry, of just like, oh yeah, don't worry,
like,
you're
super strong now.
500% stronger now, mate, go ahead. And then next thing he knows, he's just getting beaten up.
That maybe again, he just wanted Black Cat to beat him up, maybe that's just his king. And it says here, and this I don't believe, his harness lets him fly without making any sound. I don't believe that, because every incarnation of the Vulture I've ever seen, he's like, as he's going around.
It's like
every version of the Vulture I see shit talks and cackles the entire time.
Now for City Hall. Come, my feathered followers, follow me.
Where are we going? The vulture's roost is near!
the suit might be silent, but the Vulture himself is not.
Yeah, but maybe that's why he does it, so people can hear him shit talking more. Weapons, the Vulture carries a plasma pistol. What? Just from Halo 3, I guess, and several forms of grenades of an unknown type. See, that's the real
skeleton bombs. That's what they mean to say. Skeleton bombs.
And then transportation, he prefers flying. No shit. He's called the Vulture.
I wonder, like, when does that come up? Do you actually like flying? Nah, I prefer biking, but you know, my brother got into an accident.
I'm scared of heights. And now we have some trivia. And it starts with the fact that the Vulture was the first traditionally costumed supervillain Spider-Man ever faced, only ever previously squaring off with the super spy, the Chameleon, in Amazing Spider-Man #1.
So you're telling me there's a villain called the Chameleon, and they're not dressed up like a giant chameleon?
Well, their thing is, that'd be cool. I think their thing is that they wear other people's faces. They're technically not a costume supervillain because they're dressed like other real people. And then we have, up until Amazing Spider-Man 676, the Vulture had been the only Spider-Man foe besides Electro to be a member of every incarnation of the Sinister Six, Sinister Seven, and Sinister 12. We forgot about the Sinister Seven, apparently. He has also never served as a leader of any group, presumably due to his obsession with being a weird Vulture man. And it doesn't tell you how old he is.
We need to try and figure this out, Karl. Let's do
we
a
do
Google.
Need to figure it. There must be a thing that says, like, he had a birthday one day.
Yeah. Let's try.
Don't just Google, like, how old is the Vulture in comics.
Yeah.
And while you find that, I'm going to give you the last little bit of trivia here. Stan Lee originally envisioned the Vulture as a fat person and wanted Steve Ditko to use actor Sidney Greenstreet, picture him all piercing on screen as I say that, as inspiration for his appearance. Ditko differed, believing that a large villain would seem too passive and an easier enemy to escape from. He also preferred to draw someone thin, fast, and lean, due to bulky characters reducing panel space. Man, he must hate the Kingpin.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if, like, Steve Ditko was still alive and saw, like, the Kingpin from Enter the Spider-Verse, who's just width. He's just width personified.
He is the panel, Karl.
He is. Oh, so do you know how old this guy is? It doesn't say anywhere on this wiki.
According to Marvel's Spider-Man fandom,
okay,
Adrian Toomes is 76.
Oh, he's pretty spry. In that universe, like, Magneto's like 90 odd and he's still doing alright, so that's not old by any
which Magneto? Do you mean Magneto or the Magneto that was turned into a baby and then aged up to... Like...
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, God.
Oh, maybe one day we'll talk about weird baby and revert to goo Magneto. But yeah, that's the Vulture. I don't think he's one of the best characters. Like, I don't like him as part of like Spider-Man's rogue. He's a bit boring.
Or he's certainly one of the most iconic because of the fact he's always in like the Sinister Six and everything. Yeah,
he's always there. Yeah, I don't feel like he's a very good foil to Spider-Man because he doesn't counter any specific aspects of his personality. Like Venom is just his like his literal antithesis. Like Dr. Octopus, like has the 8 arms thing going on, so Spider and Octopus, and then he's his intelligence. Just the Vulture's just an old man who likes stealing shit, which is pretty commendable in its own right. But I'm not the biggest fan of the character. But I am glad we learned more about him today.
Yeah, definitely iconic. But I think it says a lot that like every time, you, for example, in like Marvel's Spider-Man in 2018, like playing that, and it's like, oh, you need to fight the Vulture, and his fight is like with Electro because you can't like the Vulture's not much on his own.
That's the thing as well. You think though as well, Spider-Man, especially the Spider-Man in that game, who's like an experienced Spider-Man, like 5 years of experience. I'm like, you really don't think this Spider-Man can take out a guy with some wings? So at least Electro can like shoot lightning bolts. What has the Vulture got? He's got a gun. Oh no, Spider-Man never deals with guys with guns.
Yeah. Pour one out for Adrian Toomes, just like
pour one out for him.
The jobber of the Sinister Six.
He basically is, but he's still a fun villain nonetheless. And if you enjoyed this episode of Wiki Weekends, why not like, comment, and subscribe? Let us know any other characters you'd like us to cover, preferably in like the Spider-Man Rose Gallery, because it's always fun to talk about the Spider-Man.
It is.
Oh man, did you just? I can't get over just that he flies soundlessly. But just no, like what? They're so big. Those wings, like, whoo.
See, that's the thing, is the only thing you can hear is just this 76-year-old man going,
All you hear is just him constantly out of breath. And he just like looks at Tony Stark go past and goes, man, he's got the right idea.
Flying 500 miles an hour with no effort.
Like, imagine the meetings that they're having though when he's got to rock up in that outfit. So I always think, when they have like the Sinister Six meetings, you have like the panels when we're all talking. I can only imagine how awkward that is when like the Rhino's there.
Yeah.
Like, do they have to get the Rhino a chair, or does he just stand up?
I think they're having dinner.
To Spider-Man's ignominious defeat.
And do you think they do? Do you think they get the Rhino a chair? Like Dr. Octopus? Do you think they all come in their costumes, or they decide like, well, it's easiest not to in their costumes?
I reckon they turn up in costume.
Do you like that bit in The Boys where like Lamplighter turns up and they also this guy looks like a fucking douche. Why is he dressed up? Do you think they ever do that?
To be fair though, if you look at like the original Sinister Six, all of them kind of just look like weirdos in skin tight, stupid looking outfits.
Yeah, they are all. It's where you get that like the meme image, isn't it? Of, like Me and the Boys, and it's like the poorly drawn Spider-Man villains. It's just all doing like mean mugging for the camera. But yeah, Adrian Toomes and Michael Keaton. Batman.
キラリと光る怒りの目安らぎ